Well, hello everybody. Today's Friday, so I think we're supposed to have some thunderstorms this afternoon. I've been sitting outside today before the bad weather came through, making my grocery list, going through my recipe books. This is how I normally do it. I go through my recipe books, make a list of recipes I want to make for the week. Sometimes I'll do up to 2 weeks. And then I go through, I get all my ingredients, order it online, and have Walmart deliver it. I absolutely love Walmart Plus delivery. Keeps me from having to go to the grocery store. Saves me time, keeps me from having to fool with people, because if you're like me, you really don't like to stand in line forever, and especially if you've got groceries, you don't want to use self-checkout. So if anybody from Walmart's listening, thank you for the Walmart Plus delivery option. Amazing, hands down, big fan. But anyway, I decided today I was going to make a roast. And it's a really simple, good roast. It's an Italian roast, Italian beef roast. And you can do it in a crock pot. Actually, that's the best way to do it. I mean, I guess you could do it in the oven, but I don't think it would turn out that good, because it's one of those that has to kind of slow cook all the, throughout the day. So it's nice and tender and it absorbs all the flavors. But anyway, I'll go ahead and start. I'll show you what we're going to have. I've already thawed this out. I had it frozen, so I've got it thawed out. It is a 2-pound chuck roast. And I've already opened it and everything. But you want to put it down in your crock pot with the fat side up, because that way as this cooks, those fats will melt and help keep the underside of the roast tender. They will help add flavor, and it really help mix the ingredients that we're going to add. So let me get a paper towel here to wipe the mess off my hands. So the next thing that we're going to have, we need a pack of Italian dressing, and it's the dry kind. Store brand's fine. There's no need to go out and buy name brand stuff when you can get store brand, and it is just as good in most things than the name brands, and it's a fraction of the price. Money's tight for everybody now, so don't waste money on name brands, especially with inflation and how they have been doing shrinkflation. These big companies have, raising the prices on everything, and just really taking advantage of consumers when the CEOs of these major food corporations and stockholders are making hand over fist profits and have no reason to raise the prices, but they do. It's corporate greed. That's all it is. There's not hardly any competition. But one way to fight back is to get store brand stuff. It saves you money, and it sends a message, hey, we're not going to pay these ridiculous prices to give you ridiculous profits. Anyway, that's my little rant. Next thing you're going to need is a jar of sliced pepperoncini peppers. I like to go ahead and get the Italian seasoned one here from Mount Olive. I do like to get the Mount Olive brand, because they are a medium tier brand. They're from North Carolina, and that's my home state, and I'm kind of partial to it. But they have great products, and the prices aren't high, and I've always had great quality with their stuff. So you need a jar of these, and the next thing you're going to need is a jar of golden mushroom soup. You can use cream of mushroom soup as well. I've used it before, and it's really good. But when we had our guest in recently, their youngest child, who's 2, has a milk allergy. So we couldn't use cream of mushroom soup. So her mother suggested that we try golden mushroom soup. And we tried it in this, and it was absolutely delicious. So we're going to make it. I think I'm actually going to start using golden mushroom soup when I can, because I liked it that much better. Alright, now that I've got all that outside and showed you what you need, you're going to take your, let me tilt this down so you can see what I'm doing. And bear with me as I get used to doing these videos and using this camera and the camera angles and all that stuff. Hopefully over time I will get better. But you're going to open up your Italian dressing packet, and you're just going to pour it in a little measuring cup. And then after you get that done, let me find my little handy dandy strainer here. These are the best things ever if you're pouring and draining cans. pick one of these up. They're great if you can find one. They should be cheap. I believe I got this one maybe at the dollar store. I'm not sure. I've had it so long, but I'm sure you could find them on Amazon or Walmart if you can't find one at the dollar store. The next thing we do is we are going to pour half of this jar of pepperoncini juice into our dressing mix. And I am making a mess, of course. So let's see. Maybe that, I won't use that. But you want to get half of that in there. And is it really good cooking if you don't make a mess? I'll just tell you right now, I am a messy cook. I've gotten better over the years, but I still make a mess. I don't make one near as bad as I used to. Carson used to get so mad because I would just have every dish dirty. We have a delicious meal, but there was a terrible cleanup. So once you get this juice in there, whisk this together. Give it a few good stirs till you get it all kind of mixed up. That should be good. And then pour this over your roast. And if you're wondering what this bag is here in the slow cooker, this is one of those slow cooker liners. They are absolutely amazing and make cleanup a breeze. You know, I resisted using them for years because I thought, oh, that's a wasteful product. I'll just wash the slow cooker. But I tell you, after I tried them, I was convinced, and they're great. So, highly recommend those. Alright, the next thing you're going to want to do is take your golden mushroom soup. And just spoon it in over your roast. Try to get as much of this golden yummy goodness out as I can. Set the spoon in the sink. Alright, and then there's one more ingredient here, and it's half a jar of these pepperoncini peppers. So, just where you still got juice in there, you're going to kind of try to not pour them out, because you'll pour more of that juice out, and you want to save that juice and the rest of these peppers for when you make this roast again. Because let me tell you right now, after you've made it once and you realize how easy it is and how good it is, you're going to want to make it again and use up the other jar of these peppers. Just kind of get them in there, cover it pretty good. And eyeball it there. Alright, now I've got that in there, and then I'm going to lift this up and show you all. See how that's kind of just layered on top of that. Put it back in a slow cooker. I'm going to cover it, and then I'm going to slide my slow cooker over here to plug it in, because my cord wasn't long enough for me to really have it where I needed to for the video. But I'll slide it over there, and I'm going to put it on low. And you're going to cook it on low for, let me move the camera here. You're going to cook it on low for about 8 hours. And if you're really in a hurry and you don't have 8 hours, you can cook it on high. And if you're going to cook it on high, you'll want to cook it for, I would say probably, check it 4 hours. And if it's not done at 4 hours, it may take up to 5, 5.5, somewhere in there. But I've always done it on low, and on low it normally is done by 8 hours. Low and slow just makes it so moist and delicious. What I like to serve this with, and what I'll serve it with tonight, is I'm going to take my Instapot, and I'm going to take red potatoes. I'm going to dice those red potatoes, put them in my Instapot. I'm going to add a couple of bay leaves, some salt, pepper, and garlic, and probably about a cup and a half of water, half a stick of butter. And I'm going to seal the Instapot, let it cook those potatoes, and then when they're cooked, I'm going to put them out, kind of smash them, and then serve this roast on top of it. It's absolutely delicious. The kids devour it. Carson devours it. Our guests, when they were here, devoured it. Wonderful recipe. Highly recommend that you try it. It's really great and really easy for a quick, like if you know you're going to be busy one day, and really don't have time to make to invest in supper the next day, go ahead and put these ingredients together the night before, set them in the fridge, and then that morning when you get up to go to work, put it in your crock pot, turn it on. When you get home that day, you don't have to fool with cooking other than if you do the potatoes in the Instapot, which is super easy, super quick, and then boom, you've got a great meal. Serve it with some rolls, some Texas toast, buttered bread, whatever you want to do, and you're good to go. Anyway, give this recipe a try. Thanks for watching. Once again, hit like, subscribe, and please share, because I enjoy doing these videos. I enjoy sharing recipes that our family loves, things that we know that you'll love if you try. Spreading the joy of cookies, of course cookies. But anyway, spreading the joy of cooking. Anyway, I'll talk at you later. Bye. Alright everybody, so we're back. Supper is cooked. I've made the potatoes. The roast is done. The house smells absolutely wonderful. So I want to show you it plated up so you can see what it looks like. What I did was I got some Texas toast, just the great value brand, because you know I told you, don't buy the name brand stuff. Don't waste your money on it. Just get the store brand. Once you realize how much money you save, you'll be tickled to death. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these red potatoes that I cooked in the Instapot, which I told you kind of how I do it earlier, just in passing and talking about it. And this is going to be my oldest son, who's 10. It's going to be his plate, so I'm going to go ahead and get this plated up. I put the potatoes on like this on the bread. Then what I do is I come over here, and I want you all to step over here. You step over here to the camera. Just show them what I did with potatoes, the red potatoes in the Instapot. And then let's show them this roast before I cut into it, what it looks like cooked. So I'm going to get in here and I'm going to get this roast. I'm going to get in here like this. And just get some of this off. Make sure if the meat gets down in the juice, it's fine. You're going to pick it out anyway. Get some of this good meat and some of these good peppers on here. I don't want to give him too much because if he wants more, he'll ask for seconds. You never can gauge kids these days. Some days they come home starving. Some days you give them a lot of food and then they don't want that much. So I always just try to start out with a small amount. Gauge it on how hungry they are. And then go from there. Get that on there. Now let me get a spoon. I'm going to put some of this good juice on there. Spoon out some of this juice onto this bread. This is that soup and dressing mix, and the juice from the peppers that we made earlier, and the fat from the roast, all mixed in, just so good. And this is what we're going to end up with. It's really a simple one plate dish. If you wanted to, you could do side items. I honestly think this is so good and it's got everything you need in it that you don't need to do a side item. So give it a try. Tell me what you think. And also remember, like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much.